Well. Good evening. It's Lakeisha McKnight. Welcome back to Leadership TKO. And this is the night show, the podcast that is a podcast associated with the brand Leadership TKO that's housed under the company, the limited liability company entitled the International Leadership Education and Development Company. So the iLead company. Many of you may know the company as LMBI or Lakeisha McKnight Brands International. But I want to welcome you, of course, onto this particular podcast. Now, this podcast, the company is based in Chesapeake, Virginia, but we touch people around the world, specifically women. We notice that it's mostly women who tune into our podcast and it's connected to the brand, Leadership TKO brand. You can read more, learn more about the brand by visiting www.leadershiptko.com. TKO standing for Truths That Have Kept the Overcomer, because there are foundational truths that really are consistent across many platforms or many environments, including the home, corporate world, and business. And so you'll probably read more about Leadership TKO on the website, as well as previous episodes with this podcast. What I'm going to do now is just share inside of a group that we have on Facebook and letting the members of this group on Facebook know that we're live. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. All right. So join in as I am now live. Okay. So again, thank you so much, because I do know that there are so many of you that really tune into this podcast show. There are many of you from France, from Sweden, from the United Kingdom, from the Virgin Islands and Barbados, from Germany, and of course throughout the United States. And I want to say thank you for plugging in to this podcast show. And, it's just great to be able to serve you in this capacity, being able to provide you with leadership tips, leadership training, awareness on certain issues that are faced by women. And of course, this is leading me to where I need to go next, which is how we have a subdivision with this brand. It's Leadership TKO for Women. And a part of this brand is being really pushed forward and propelled, not just by myself, but by 5 other women. Of course, those women are Takara Steele, Maricela Messner, Cheryl Harris Sutton, Shalia McDaniel, and Dr. Remy Douye. These women have helped to launch this campaign connected to Leadership TKO for Women. And the name of the campaign is Born to Lead. The Born to Lead Global Women's Leadership Campaign. We're excited about this campaign because we're able to actually touch women like you who are in other places around the world. And the whole purpose of this campaign is really to bring awareness to common issues that we face as women, awareness, and then, of course, solutions. You can't just talk about it. You have to be a part of the solution. And that's what we do with this campaign. And it also helps to unify us, support one another, and help us to grow in our professions, whether you're in the corporate world or you're an entrepreneur. We're helping to support one another as you're moving forward in your career and leading in your industry. Part of what we're doing is providing leadership training and business training as well. We qualify the members in the group on Facebook is connected to this campaign, the Women's Leadership Campaign. And for every 1,000 members that are connected and invited in the group, what happens is we actually release a new business training that they can get access to. Now, it's only for those who are members of the campaign, official members. And I want to encourage you to become an official member so that you can get access to this training and so many of the other great aspects and elements within this campaign. And the way that you can be connected to this campaign is by visiting www.born2lead2017.com. The spelling for that is www.borntolead2017.com. And so when you go there, you're going to have a questionnaire. Fill that out quickly, preferably on a laptop. Fill that out, submit it, And then you're going to be welcomed into the group on Facebook, and you receive more instructions about what to do next once you enter the group, because there's going to be a pinned post, and you're going to want to see that pinned post. It's going to give you instructions about what to do next, what the group is all about, some things that you may want to avoid doing so that you can remain an active member within the campaign. Every official member gets added onto the primary website for the campaign. Now, the primary website is leadershiptkoforwomen.com. Again, it's leadershiptkoforwomen.com. So you can read all about all the elements a part of this campaign. We have a book we're soon going to launch at the end of the summer. We have a reality show, actually, that we're going to be kicking off this week. I believe we're going to be interviewing our first person this week, so I'm excited about that. We're also going to be having conventions, which our first one is going to be on May 27th. And you can read and learn more and grab your ticket for this campaign by visiting www.leadershiptkoconvention.com. Again, it's leadershiptkoconvention.com, which is going to be taking place in Portsmouth, Virginia, at the Village Church of Portsmouth. And that's May 27th, a Saturday. So we hopefully can meet with you, network, and we can grow together as women. So again, hopefully I'll see you soon in Portsmouth, Virginia. And then the last element that you'll read about on the primary website is the play. It's first a virtual play, but as God leads, we potentially can have a live play. Now, I know some people have asked, is the campaign ending at the end of 2017, or are we propelling forward beyond that? Well, we know that the brand or the subdivision isn't going to end at the end of 2017. So in talking with the women that were a part of this project, if they feel as though they want to continue to push the Born to Lead campaign forward, we can do that. But the subdivision is going to remain. Leadership TKO for Women will continue to go forward. Okay. So what I'm going to do, if you're tuning in live, let me know what state, what country that you're listening in from. I will definitely recognize you here on the platform before I move forward into our topic for the evening. So we do have Janine Howard Brown. Janine, it was great seeing you this past weekend at a nonprofit event, a wonderful nonprofit event. So again, thank you so much for coming down, and thank you for being a part of this campaign. Janine is actually one of our greats, one of our state ambassadors for Virginia. So again, thank you so much for Janine for being a valuable leader within this campaign. We also have, of course, Sabrina Thomas. Sabrina, how are you, dear? Thank you so much for being a part and joining us here. Now, I'm not sure, Sabrina, of course, you can correct me if I'm wrong, because I know I go through a lot and I kind of connect with different people. I know you're a member of the campaign. You're right here in Virginia Beach. I'm not sure if you applied for a state ambassadorship at this particular point. If you did, I apologize, but you can let me know if you did, and I'll definitely clarify right here on this platform here. But again, I just want to thank each and every one of you for being connected. Thank you so very much. It's just an honor to serve, to be able to build other leaders, specifically women, around the world. And so grateful for this honor and this opportunity. This month, we're focusing in on mental health awareness, just being connected and being informed about the various ways that we can be aware of mental concerns that women face, and what can we do to help alleviate this issue? We're not going to say that it's totally going to be removed. I'm going to say that. Here's why. Because we have the ability to choose, whether we're going to allow stress to take over our lives or not. Because truth be told, many people teeter and actually head into the area or of a decline mentally when they allow stress to overtake them. Stress or trauma is one of the number one things that flips that switch, and it causes people to go on a decline and really triggers mental health issues. I'm not sure, of course, if you experience this, someone that this happened to, whether they've experienced trauma in their childhood or as an adult. And you see this a lot with veterans. For example, veterans, they go and they're definitely defending our country, and I definitely respect what they do. However, it's a lot that they face when they're out there in these other countries. If they've been exposed to war or been a part of it, many of them return back home with post-traumatic stress disorder, which is definitely a deep form of depression. Okay? It's trauma. Trauma, it's a deep anxiety and depression that comes along with that. So this a lot. It often gets triggered by trauma or extreme stress. So again, as we were talking about it a little bit on last night. We're talking about depression. And I want to see, of course, if I have some more of that great content, right? And that great material to share with you on depression. So I'm going to grab my handy dandy notes here, and I'm going to see what we have, of course, to share with you. One quote that I did share in our campaign group was this: stress, anxiety, and depression are caused when we are living to please others. This was actually written by Paulo Coelho. Okay, Coelho. Paulo Coelho actually said that stress, anxiety, and depression are caused when we are living to please others. And that's huge. Super, super huge. Okay. So we have to really learn, how to better our lives and really go after what it is that God has for us by really trying to eliminate that stress, because stress will make a huge difference in our lives. Okay. It will make a super, super huge difference. So what it is that I am going to do. Okay. I have some information about how depression is actually revealed, and you can see it in our bodies. Okay, we have it right here for you. I'm going to share with you a little content that I have and the effects of depression. Okay. Now, depression can really cause a lot of symptoms, many of which are easy to dismiss or ignore. It may be easily difficult to detect in children, right? Difficult to detect in children who can't really articulate their symptoms, or in older adults who may blame their symptoms on aging. We're quick to say that we're getting older, so this is the reason why I feel the way I feel. Now, symptoms of depression include overwhelming sadness, grief, and a sense of guilt. People with depression often complain about feeling tired all the time. They also tend to have trouble sleeping. They don't really sleep well. So that means they may get up at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning and then be up all night. Other symptoms include irritability, anger, and loss of interest in things that used to bring pleasure, including sex. Okay? It may be described as a feeling of emptiness or hopelessness. Some people may find it difficult to put their feelings into words. Frequent episodes of crying may be a sign of depression, but not everyone who is depressed cries. Other symptoms include inability to concentrate, memory problems, and difficulty making decisions. People with depression may have trouble maintaining a normal work schedule or fulfill social obligations. Now, some people who are depressed also may use alcohol or drugs. So you might have a co-occurring disorder going on. Co-occurring meaning two different disorders happening at the same time. The depression as well as the alcohol or drug abuse. Okay? So they may become reckless or abusive. A depressed person, and it includes women, may consciously avoid talking about it or try to mask the problem. Have you seen that often by someone? They mask it. They may either blame it on some other person, or they just be like, I'm okay, I'm doing good, but they're just really sad a lot. People suffering from depression may be preoccupied with thoughts of death or hurting themselves. There's an increased risk of suicide. Now, depression can cause many of things, and we're going to talk about different areas in our bodies that may be impacted by depression. Okay, so we're going to talk about that probably on tomorrow. I'm not going to delve into the physiological areas and impact as it pertains to depression. We're going to talk about that tomorrow. But depression can cause headaches, chemical body aches, and pain that may not respond to medication. It just might not respond. So you can take pills, you can do all these different things, but the body is just not responding to it. Okay, so we're going to talk about physiological concerns and issues as it pertains to depression. We'll talk about that on tomorrow, but I felt that, this was really, really, really important to hit on. Okay, really, really important. And sometimes they mask it, but just like Janine says, inside, they are really hurting. Really hurting. So again, this is just one area that we're focusing in on this week. Depression. We're focusing in on it big time. And I just want to say, of course, there's another additional person listening in live and on the Spreaker platform here. Sandra, thank you so much. Sandra is actually one of the women who resides out here in Virginia. She is a Virginia State Ambassador, a part of the campaign. Thank you so much, Sandra, for joining me here on the platform. But depression is indeed real, ladies. If you're listening in right now, and this is a real moment, if you're listening in and you're sad a lot, you're irritable a lot, you push people away and try to isolate yourself a lot, you find yourself doing a lot of crying throughout the day, there may be some depression going on. Now, some people may have situational depression, meaning that certain situations in life bring on that depression. But when it's revisited and when it goes on for long durations of time, that's when you know you really need to reach out and have that professional help that you need. Okay? And there are various options for treatment. We're going to talk about that as well this week. But it's very, very important that you reach out to someone that you can trust. Fight against that feeling of being isolated and not wanting to be bothered. Because the truth be told, sometimes we can think ourselves into situations, and just like I just shared, it can lead to wanting you to hurt yourself. Some people do that. Some people may not, okay? But some people do. And we don't want you to harm yourself. If you know a sister that's in the situation, call them up, support them, pray for them. This is important because it could be the case where you notice they're depressed today and then tomorrow they're gone because they decided to end their lives. So please reach out. Don't ignore it if you see, if something is triggering, you have this discernment that something is not quite right with another sister that you know, a mother, a grandmother that you know. This is highly, highly important, ladies, if you're listening in. But I wanted to touch on this, and this is one of the areas that we're advocating for and bringing awareness to. And I would love for you to connect with the campaign officially if you have not. And the way that you can do this is by going to, again, www.born2017.com. We're going to be talking more about depression actually at the convention. We're going to have a panel. You'll probably hear more about my bouts. I'm not going to say that it was a long duration, but my season where I felt like I was really in a hole. A lot of people don't know, but I'll talk about the real deal as far as how it really feels. Okay. So make sure, of course, that you're there at the convention. I was sharing with members in the group that if you need to put down a little deposit, $50 or so that you can secure your seat and then work on paying the rest. It's not an extreme amount, but some people need to have payment arrangements, which is fine. You can definitely get in contact with me, an ambassador, one of the state ambassadors, or one of the campaign leaders, or leave a message in the comments area and just let us know you want to make a deposit. That's fine. If you're connected to me on Facebook, of course, you can send me an inbox message and we can get your deposit secured. But get connected to the campaign and share this campaign, the link with other women that you know. Not just social workers and things of that nature. We want every female in all industries to be involved, especially moms, because we know that moms experience that postpartum depression. So we want them plugged in to hear this information. And of course, I definitely want to just share with you how, we're just doing some amazing things, live training going on, ways in which you can generate revenue. There's just so much that we have connected to this campaign. And once you get in the group, you're going to learn more about all of these various elements that we have connected. So I just want to say thank you so much for tuning in tonight. Be sure to like this episode. There should be a like button nearby. And once you click on it, it should turn yellow to let you know that you've liked it. Okay, so if you found this information helpful, this episode very helpful, go ahead and like this episode. Okay, comment or do whatever you feel. Share this podcast with other people that you know. Remember, we do have an app in the Google Play Store. It's a free app. So all you need to do is look up Leadership TKO and be able to download it for free. So don't forget to do that as well. But we're going to be back here tomorrow night at 9:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as we're continuing to talk about women in the area of depression. Okay, women in the area of depression. So again, thank you so much. But until tomorrow, remember to think, speak, and live leadership.